I'll tell you what, thank God for good neighbors. My neighbor Scott stopped over this past weekend, and I was out here playing in the dirt, and he stood there for a minute, looked around and said, "Hey man, why don't you make a cheater board?" I was like, "What's a cheater board?" Because he's a lot more handy than I am, and that's something new to me. And so I'll show you what he had me make. So this is what he had me build. It's a piece of 3/4 inch ply with a 2x4 screwed in on top of it. And from the bottom of this plywood down here up to this first mark right there is the same height as a small cinder block, little 2-inch cinder block, and one of the bigger 8-inch cinder blocks put together. So I can use this, I can lug this thing around instead of moving bricks around and stacking them and taking them off and restacking them and taking them off. And then I added some other measurements. So if I were to do a 2-inch one on the bottom, an 8-inch one up to here, then if I added a 2-inch, if I added another 2-inch, or if I added a 4-inch on top of that, if I added a 2 and a 4, etc. And it's made my life a whole lot easier. I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 of these things done in about an hour versus it took me, I don't know, an hour to do 4 or 5 of them last weekend. Thanks, Scott. You helped me out a ton, and I'm sure I'll be looking to your guidance here coming up when we start stacking the walls. Okay, well, it's been a little while since I've been out here, Mother's Day and bad weather, rain and whatnot. I've got 8 more of the foundation blocks to do. I should knock those out pretty quickly with that cheater board that my neighbor told me to create last time. That really worked out well. And hopefully, with any luck, by the end of the day today, I'll be dragging the first couple foundation logs over. So let's get to it. Okay, so all of the foundation blocks are laid and leveled. They're not all exactly level with each other, but they're all individually level. I'm gonna go see if I can dig up some old shingles, and I was gonna put shingles down on top of each one anyways to prevent moisture from wicking up through the concrete blocks and coming into contact with the wood. So some of them will have to add maybe 3 or 4 shingles, others I'll just put 1 shingle on top, but it should all be able to level out in the end. And then time to go drag some of the first logs back. Die up in these trees, my daddy used to say. Okay, so there we have it. The foundation is square and level. Time to drag the first logs over. Myself up Okay, so I got my first log up, and I made my first of what's going to be many mistakes building this. I got it up, I got it cut to length. I'm going to do this log back here and another log up front, and as I go I'm going to kind of offset where that splice is, so to give some a little more structural integrity. But if you can tell, this log is curved kind of this way, right? I want them to be curved outside for the outside walls, so I'm gonna have to pick this whole thing up, flip it around. Okay, so the first log is in place. I'm gonna do a similar size log that goes from the front of that log up to that small cinder block up front there. That'll be the porch. And then, 2, 4, 6, 8 more of those to do after I get that done. So it's gonna get a little tricky because I'm out of room for my quad. I really can't drive the quad in for those middle logs. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is drop the logs off out there, drive the quad around back, and then use the winch on the front of the quad to pull the logs through. But we'll get it done. Not too bad, I'll take that.
I always dreamed of leaving, but I always stayed. Spending all my money on women and wine. I'll be logging out these streets, holding the line.
Alright, first 2 logs are placed. It's getting to be about dinner time, and pretty happy with that. My goal is by the end of the month to have 8 more of those logs up running parallel, and then to have the 2 the front and the back of the cabin logs on. And I'd be happy if I had that done by the end of the month. So I've got 2.5 more weeks to get that done. These went pretty quick. I can go pick up a log, drive it back here, cut it, get it up in about 20 minutes maybe. So the inside ones might take a little longer because I won't be able to get the quad around as easy, but it's doable.